In a world rife with uncertainty, how does the current international climate impact America and your ability to prepare? Today, we find ourselves navigating an increasingly complex global landscape. The world feels like an intricate web, with each thread representing a different country, society, or event that influences the rest. These threads are taut with tension, and the slightest tremor could send shockwaves through the web, impacting us all. Political tensions are one such thread. They have always been a part of our world, but the stakes seem higher than ever. From the strained relations between superpowers to the bubbling unrest in various regions, the political climate is volatile and unpredictable. Any of these situations could escalate, potentially leading to conflict, which would have far-reaching effects on America and beyond. The threat of natural disasters is another thread that cannot be ignored. Climate change is making extreme weather events more frequent and severe. Hurricanes, wildfires, floods, and droughts are not only devastating on their own, but they can also exacerbate existing tensions and lead to further instability. Economic instability is yet another factor. Global economies are interconnected, and a crisis in one part of the world can quickly spread to others. Rising inflation, job losses, and trade disruptions are all potential triggers for a broader economic downturn. Such a scenario could disrupt supply chains, making it more difficult for people to access essential goods and services. Potential conflicts loom on the horizon too. Whether it's cyber warfare, territorial disputes, or terrorism, these threats can destabilize societies and disrupt the normal flow of life. They can also lead to a surge in refugees, straining resources and creating additional tensions. Each of these issues is a potential catalyst for a nationwide or worldwide SHTF scenario. They are reminders of the need for preparation and resilience, not just for individuals, but for communities and nations as a whole. Understanding our global environment is the first step to being prepared. But what do the experts say about these looming threats? Survival experts have their fingers on the pulse of what's happening around the world and how it could affect us. They are the ones who can see the bigger picture, understand the implications, and offer us insights into what we should be preparing for. Let's dive into their perspectives. Firstly, experts emphasize the importance of understanding the current international climate. They remind us that we live in an interconnected world. A conflict in one part of the globe can have ripple effects that reach our shores. This could manifest in various ways, from disruptions in supply chains leading to shortages of goods, to political tensions escalating into outright conflict. Secondly, experts highlight the threats that can come from within our own borders. These could be economic in nature, such as a financial crash or a major recession. They could also be social, such as civil unrest or widespread disease outbreaks. The key takeaway here is not to overlook domestic issues while focusing on international ones. So, how do we prepare for these potential threats? Survival experts suggest a comprehensive approach. This includes developing a robust plan for self-sufficiency. Think about food and water storage, learning basic survival skills, and having a well-stocked medical kit. It's not just about hoarding supplies, but also about learning to be resilient and adaptable. They also stress the importance of community. In times of crisis, having a network of people to rely on can be a lifeline. So consider building relationships with your neighbors, participating in local initiatives, and even forming or joining survival groups. Lastly, experts underline the significance of staying informed. Knowledge is power, after all. Keeping abreast of global and local events, understanding the implications, and adjusting your preparations accordingly is crucial. Survival experts provide valuable insights. But what about those who are actively preparing for the worst? What do preppers think? Preppers, individuals who are actively preparing for emergencies, have a unique perspective on potential threats and how to handle them. Preppers come from all walks of life, yet they share a common thread, a deep understanding of the importance of preparedness. They're not merely worried about potential disasters. They're proactive, taking steps to mitigate risks and ensure their survival. Let's look at some of the common priorities among preppers. First and foremost is the basic human need for sustenance. Food and water are the bedrock of any prepper's plan. They often stockpile long-lasting, nutrient-rich foods and devise methods to secure a clean water supply. Next, a focus on shelter and warmth. Whether it's a fortified home, a remote cabin, or a makeshift shelter, having a safe and warm place to stay is crucial. Some preppers even go to the extent of learning survival skills like building fires and constructing shelters from natural materials. Then there's health and safety. This includes first aid supplies, medicines, and knowledge of basic medical procedures. It also extends to personal protection, with many preppers investing in self-defense training and tools. Communication is another priority. In a crisis, staying informed and being able to reach out to others can mean the difference between isolation and community support. Finally, many preppers prioritize skills and knowledge. They understand that the right skill set can be more valuable than any physical item. This could include anything from gardening and hunting to mechanical repairs and navigation. Yet it's important to remember that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to prepping. Each individual has their own concerns, resources, and strategies. Some may focus more on self-sufficiency, developing skills to live off the land. Others might prioritize community building, connecting with like-minded individuals for mutual support. Preppers offer a practical, hands-on perspective on surviving potential threats. But how can we synthesize these insights and apply them to our own lives? Knowing the potential threats and how to prepare for them is only half the battle. The other half is taking action. So, how do we take action? How do we apply the insights we've gained from survival experts and preppers to our own lives? Well, let's break it down into practical steps. First, take stock of your current resources. What do you have on hand right now that could be useful in a crisis? This includes not just physical items, but also skills and knowledge. Can you start a fire without matches? Do you know how to purify water? These are valuable assets in a survival situation. Next, identify your gaps. What do you need that you don't currently have? This could be a piece of equipment, like a first aid kit or a water filter. It could also be a skill, like knowing how to navigate using a map and compass. Once you've identified these gaps, you can start working to fill them. Third, create a plan. This should include things like where you'll go in case of an emergency, how you'll get there, and what you'll do once you're there. Your plan should also include contingencies for different types of threats. For example, your response to a natural disaster might be different than your response to a societal collapse. Fourth, practice. The best way to ensure you're prepared is to put your plan into action. This doesn't mean you need to go out and live in the woods for a week, although that's certainly one way to do it. Rather, practice the skills you'll need in a survival situation, like starting a fire or purifying water. Finally, stay informed. Keep up to date with the latest news and developments, both locally and globally. This will help you anticipate potential threats and adjust your plan accordingly. Preparation is key in uncertain times. It's not about fear, but about being ready for whatever may come. And remember, being prepared isn't just about surviving. It's about thriving. It's about ensuring that no matter what happens, you have the tools and knowledge to not just get by, but to live well. Be proactive, be prepared, and be ready to face whatever comes your way. The world around us is constantly changing, and with it, the potential threats we face. The current international climate, with its myriad challenges, has highlighted the need for each of us to be prepared for any possibility. We've journeyed together through this exploration, understanding that preparation is not about fear, but rather about empowering ourselves to face whatever may come. We've learned from survival experts who've shared their insights, wisdom born from experience, from trials faced, and lessons learned. Their advice has been invaluable, reminding us that survival isn't about having the most resources, but about knowing how to best use what we have. They've emphasized the value of knowledge, of skills, and of the human spirit's indomitable will to survive. From the preppers' perspectives, we've gained insights into the priorities in a survival scenario. Water, food, shelter, these are fundamental. But beyond the basics, we've seen how important it is to have a plan to be adaptable, to build community and foster cooperation. Preparedness isn't a solitary endeavor, but a collective one. No man is an island, and in times of crisis, our greatest strength often lies in each other. And finally, we've delved into practical steps for preparation. We've seen how simple actions taken today can make a world of difference tomorrow. From storing extra canned goods, to learning basic first aid, to cultivating a mindset of resilience and adaptability. These are the stepping stones on the path of preparedness. In the end, the goal is not to live in fear of what might happen, but to live with the confidence that we can handle whatever comes our way. In a world filled with uncertainty, preparation provides a sense of control and peace of mind. It's about being ready, being resilient, and being resourceful. So, let's carry forward what we've learned today into our daily lives. Stay informed, stay prepared, and stay safe.